Okay, the first section of Chapter 1 is expressions and formulas. We're also going to get into the order of operations. We're going to simplify and evaluate expressions, and we're going to evaluate and manipulate formulas to find a desired measurement. Some vocabulary that we're going to encounter are variable, expressions versus equations, and order of operations, formula. Anyway, the reason why I have verses is there is a difference between expressions and equations. You have expressions, which we're going to go over here in the first part. Right here, we're going to evaluate these expressions. So you have two beginning here. This is evaluate each expression. If, and we are given values of these variables that are here in the expressions. Now these are expressions. They're not equations. And they are not equations because they lack an equal sign. So this is an expression. There is no equal sign with some other value over here. So an expression lacks an equal sign. Okay, so we're going to evaluate each expression here, which means we are going to first plug in or substitute in. I say plug, that is an often said expression, verbal expression, but it means we're going to substitute in. We're going to take these numbers and we're going to put it in wherever I see an A. I'm going to put in a -2. I'm also going to need to use what is called the order of operations. Let's discuss that really fast here. Let's take a pause. So order of operations, and you have probably heard, ooh, PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Nothing irritates me more, I guess, probably because I did not use it, but those cute little catchphrases, and I know that they are very helpful for some people. Now let's break down this PEMDAS, this please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This first letter here, the P, it stands for parentheses, better known as grouping symbols, because we have these things called brackets. So keep that in mind. So grouping symbols, we have brackets, we have parentheses. We need to key in on these and work whatever problem we have inside the grouping symbols first. So this word, we begin working all the way down our word. Kind of gives us our order. Thus, order of operations. The next letter, E, stands for exponent. If I have an exponent in the problem, after I have looked to see if I have any grouping symbols, I go to look to see if I have exponents. If I have exponents, I'm going to evaluate those. The next thing I do is I look to see if I have multiplication or division. If I have multiplication and division, I work those out left to right. Because if I have more than one, I work left to right. What comes in order first? From left to the right. That is the way we read. And lastly, I look at addition and subtraction. I don't always add first because it's first in my PEMDAS. I also look to see what comes first, left to right, the way that we read in Western society. Okay. So let us begin to substitute in. In our first problem, we have this -2, which is going to go into the A. This 3 is going to go into our B. We have nothing else that we're going to substitute in. So we'll see what that looks like. I'm going to have 2. And since they're written right next to each other, we have 2 times -2. Plus, I now have B, which is 3, which I substitute in, plus 3, and B squared. So now that I have my order of operations, this set of parentheses right here, that just means multiplication. Okay, multiplication can be a dot, a set of parentheses. It can be this old time symbol. All of these things mean multiplication. And that's an L. That is why I told you to look for grouping symbols. I'm going to look there. I'm going to do that first. So I have 2 times negative 2, which I'm not ready for yet. In my grouping symbols, I have 3 plus 3, that is 6 squared. That is equivalent to 2 times negative 2 plus, I have 6 squared. 6 squared means 6 times 6, that's 36. I am now needing to know whether I do multiplication or do I do addition. I do multiplication, I have negative 4 plus 36. And lastly, I do my addition, so I have 32. That's my answer. Not as neat as I can be. I need to work on this. The second problem. Our A. The negative 2, our B is a 3. Our C is a 4.2. So, negative 2 plus 3. A bracket of the group. 3 squared minus A, negative 2, plus C, which is 4.2. Now, parentheses and closing with a bracket. That parentheses means that first we're going to do the 2 plus 4.2. Then we're going to bring together all of this. So we have 3 squared minus what we had done in our parentheses. Okay. So let us work in. So we have overall this big set of brackets, but also inside there, we've got a set of parentheses. We need to do that first. So let's work inside there. So this is going to give me, what will it give me? If you don't know that off the top of your head, 2 plus 4.2. I hope you do. That is 6.2. 6.2. Plus, we have our 3 squared. We have this 3, which if it is hanging out in front of there, that is multiplication. When they are written right next to each other, written right next to a set of grouping symbols, written right next to a variable as it was on our previous problem. That means multiplication. So I have 2 plus 3 times, and we usually say the quantity of what we're going to get when we do 3 squared. We need to do 3 squared, which is 3 times 3. Anytime I square something, I'm multiplying it by itself. So I have 9 plus 6.2. And then I have the grouping symbols I need to take care of again. Okay? So check that. We have 9 plus 6.2. That should be 15.2. Yes, it does. We've got our negative 2 plus 3 times 15.2. You can change those grouping symbols to parentheses at this point. We need to do our 3 times this 15.2. Now, if you have some good mental math, that should be something around 45, 3 times 15. If you have 15 minutes elapsing 3 times, it should be about 45 minutes. 3 times 15.2, we get 45.6. So we have negative 2 plus 45.6. I am now adding that together. That should be 43.6. Okay. Then I can add, we need to get used to these calculators. I've already got 45.6 in there. That's my answer plus a negative 2. 43.6. And we're going to be learning our properties. That gave me the 45.6 in there first. But addition is commutative. Remember that from 1. We'll be doing that again in another one of our lessons here shortly, but we should know, does addition matter in either order? No, it doesn't. Okay, we're going to take a look at formulas. We're going to decide, are they equations or expressions? So let's look. Number one, they're relationships between measurements that are fixed, and they help us determine other values or measurements. And when we have a formula in a problem, we need to decide what information we have and then what else we need to find. So let's look at this problem number 25 in the book. They give us the formula straight away for a triangle, which we should know and remember is 1/2 base times height. And we need to write an expression for the area of this triangle. So looking at that triangle, what can you identify? We already have the formula, like it asked us a moment before. What is the formula? Well, taking a look at this problem, they say, here's the formula. Area is 1/2, and if it's all written together, times base times height. It's written squished up together. That means it implies multiplication. Okay, so if I've got to write an expression, what do I need to pull out of that diagram? I need to pull out base and height. So where is that base? If I look at this drawing, then a triangle should be sitting on its base. And its height, if I think about it, is straight up and down. Look at that drawing. What is that triangle sitting on? It is sitting on x plus 7. What is straight up and down, perpendicular to its base, making a right angle with its base? These things that we should know from geometry, whether you've taken it in high school or you had it in grade school. That would be these two x. So we fill it in to our formula. So we should be able to say area is 1/2 times our base, which is x plus 7, and our height, which is 2x. And that is a pretty good expression. Now, could we do anything else to that? Yeah, we could. There's a couple different ways we could do that. And I'll probably start out tomorrow with, what are some ways that you would multiply it together? So be able to answer that when we get to class.